One of the most fun things about collecting toys is figuring out cool and original ways to display your collection. And today, I want to talk to you a little bit about a fun way to display your minifigures. Whether you collect Imagine X, pint-sized heroes, or Lego minifigures, or anything in between, this is a real cool way of making shelves for your minifigures that are unique and interesting to look at. The hard part is you can't just grab it off the shelf at IKEA. You're going to have to do a little looking around. A California job case makes a great display rack for minifigures. They have various size compartments, and based on the ones you find, you can fit more or less figures in. I actually really like using these cases to display a variety of minifigures as opposed to just a single collection, because the variety of compartments allow for a very interesting display. California job case is actually a tray that metal type was stored in for use on a printing press. Instead of using a dedicated plate like this one to print a single page of a document, metal type could be set and then reset to make various pages of a document. This particular plate talks about a 4-stroke engine. I don't own any individual pieces to metal type, but this is some wooden type that could be set the same way as the metal type to create a document. Here's a couple of symbols or punctuation. You'll notice they're backwards, because when the ink is applied to them and they're applied to the page, the ink left on the paper will be in the correct facing direction. So where do I get my job cases? Flea markets, yard sales, antique stores, even eBay maybe? I've been lucky, and over the years I've found several of them. You can even find things similar to a job case that isn't really a job case. They all kind of work in the same way. Generally, these cases have a handle on them for pulling the cases in and out of a cabinet. This is actually where we got uppercase and lowercase letters from. The type was stored in 2 different trays, and the uppercase had the capital letters, and the lowercase had the non-capital letters. I usually put those handles facing down because that top ledge gives me more space for toys. So how do I hang them on the wall? I like using these D-hooks. I originally started using some sawtooth hangers, but actually had one of them break while the shelf was on the wall and spilled toys everywhere. It had been up for a couple of years actually before it broke. I went to something that has a little higher of a weight load limit, and the D-hook seemed to be working well for me. So all I do is drill a pilot hole, and then drive the screw in, put some nails on the wall, and hang it up. Pretty simple project if you can find one of these. My best friend growing up had one that we called the knick-knack shelf. Here you can see some of my displays now. I don't worry about filling in every compartment right away. Sometimes I find just the right toy later, so you might see a few holes, and sometimes I rearrange as I find toys that fit the holes better in my display cases. Lots of little minifigures I've collected over the years from different places, including G.I. Joe KRE-Os, pack-in minifigures from the vintage G.I. Joes, some Connects and Lego figures, blind bag figures, all kinds of fun stuff. I have seen people paint job cases before online, places like Etsy. If that's what you're into, go right ahead. I enjoy the antique look of them, and I try and damage them as little as possible, so I just add the D-hooks. It's fun setting up the display and then enjoying your collection. It's also fun to see other people look at your collection. They'll be amazed at the variety of figures you can store on one of these shelves. Thanks for watching this super exciting, outrageous toy review DIY video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and in the comments below, let us know if you have any interesting ways of displaying your collections.